Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is day 21 of our 31 winter backpacking / camping tips in 31 days. Today we're continuing with the theme of sleeping warm, and we're going to talk about ground insulation. Yesterday we talked about vapor barrier. Great, we have that down now. Now let's talk about ground insulation. What is ground insulation? Well, ground insulation is basically your sleeping pad that you sleep on. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we're so afraid for whatever reason to purchase an expensive sleeping pad, and I am not different than anyone else. Only up until maybe 2 years ago I was using just a regular sleeping pad, one that was fairly rated high, but nothing like what I have nowadays. And yes, they're expensive, but they make two things. They make your nights way more comfortable because they're thicker, but also they make your nights way warmer because they're way more insulated. The thing that you guys need to know about sleeping pad is pretty simple, is that first off, you can layer them like anything else. So yesterday I talked about closed cell foams to protect yourself, as a vapor barrier protection from the ground. Yes, but it also adds the R value of your pads can be added up. So a small little 5/8 of an inch blue foam pad, closed cell foam pad, will have a certain R value to it that I don't know at the top of my head right now. But if you were to add, let's say it was 1, but if you were to add an R value for a sleeping pad over top of it, now you have an R value of 5 combined. So understanding that is very important, because maybe you won't have the most expensive winter sleeping pad right off the bat, but if you have 2 sleeping pad, like a closed foam cell and a regular self-inflatable pad, you might be able to find a solution so that you can go out right now. I've talked about R value a couple of times already in this video, and I can probably see right through the lens here that a lot of people have question marks over the top of their head. What is an R value? Basically, R value, I'm not going to go super scientific on everyone here, because honestly I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's some kind of calculation that gives you a number that will basically tell you the higher the number, the warmer the pad. So we use this in construction for walls, for example. So the higher the number of the R value in your walls, the more insulated the house is, the more it keeps the warmth inside the house, basically. So same thing will apply with your sleeping pad. So the higher the R value, you're going to be able to go to colder temperatures, basically. So let me show you 2 of my sleeping pads that I have. The first one that I have here is a self-inflatable sleeping pad from MEC. So this is the reactor one, and it's rated at R3.4. Honestly, anything under R4.5, if you're a warm sleeper in cold winter nights, is too low. And and if you're a cold sleeper, sorry, let me start again. If you're a warm sleeper, anything under 4.5, it's going to be too cold. And if you're a cold sleeper, anything under 5, in my opinion, will be too cold as well. So just keep that in mind. But this is an R3.4. I went out with this exact sleeping pad for years. Actually, probably the better part of a decade, but I would layer it up with a closed cell foam and proper ground vapor barrier protection, and I did pretty good. Okay, so this is, and it's a cheap alternative and it's a decent alternative, but you do need to layer it with something else to really get to the full level. Now, what I've got my hands on 2 years ago, and that is certainly a game changer, and if anyone is serious into winter backpacking, wants to get in and really step up their game and really step up their sleeping pad game, what I recommend, and this is probably the warmest one that you'll have out there, is the Thermarest X-Term. This will inflate to 2.5 inches, maybe up to 3 inches. I can't remember exactly. But it's nice and thick. I'm a side sleeper, so that's nice and comfortable for me. It's the highest R value sleeping pad on the market, so it's as warm as it gets. And a lot of people will say that other sleeping pads are more comfortable, and there are more comfortable sleeping pads, but most people all come back to this one when it comes down to the really cold minus 30, minus 40, even minus 20 degrees Celsius. This provides the warmth that you need. Not only is it insulated with whatever's in there, but it also has a bunch of reflective material in there that really shoots the heat right back at you, and it's a wonderful pad. So to sum it all up for today's video, it's pretty simple, is ground insulation is key to a proper warm sleeping night. So make sure that you're not afraid to invest in a good sleeping pad. And if you're not quite there yet, there are cheaper options like self-inflatable pad with a high R value, but you might have to make sure that you layer that with a closed cell phone pad. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you guys, but just keep in mind the highest R value, the warmer it's going to be. So it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully you found some value. Hit that like button if you did. If you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about sleeping bag and how to properly combine this with your sleeping pad. So I will see you then. Peace.